It's been one long winter. It's been cold and rainy for over 7 months and I'm over it. I want to escape the winter blues and fill the Create This book with everything summer holiday themed. Okay, you're gonna have to trust the process with me for this one. The first prompt is to create hope. Draw an image that is encouraging for you. And for this, picture a busy airport with dramatic lighting. We're painting a lo-fi inspired scene and the character is walking down the middle of an airport. This is the reference, this is the outfit, and this here is my new suitcase. Let's open it up. MVST kindly gifted it to me for this episode. I seriously can't get over how pretty this is. Like, it's such good quality. Oh, we've got some stickers. That's awesome. Look how fancy it is. Look at all of these details. For this color, I think we're going to use a buff titanium. I can't wait to actually go on holiday and use this. But for now, this is the painting. So let's paint the dream. Well, that was a little bit soppy, but I guess the prompt is create hope, so it's justified. We're quickly sketching out this scene using these color pencils because I want to get to the painting stage. That's the fun part. But we do have to get the sketch right. This is perspective. I don't have experience with perspective. And more than that, I don't like it. It doesn't make sense. Some people love perspective. I don't. I like things being simple. That's what I find fun. So this is a challenge. And we're now reaching for the watercolor because of course we're using watercolor. This is a lo-fi scene. And this is what the sketch is looking like. Are you ready for a chaotic move? We're reaching for yellow and toning the entire page yellow. Now this was a decision and I do kind of regret it because watercolor is not opaque. So that might have been a bad move. Like, look at this. What are we gonna do? Not only that, but the yellow isn't really a warm yellow. I probably should have swatched it first. Maybe something like a gamboge or a cadmium orange, a nice warm yellow, because this is supposed to be the light coming through from the sun. The reason I toned the page is because I wanted the sun to shine through the entire piece. That's a big part of it. And I love the idea. I just think it would have been a lot easier with gouache. Or maybe mixed media. Something that isn't a completely transparent medium. But anyway, we're doing it. Gradually building up all of these layers and hoping that we can somehow piece it together. Rather than walking through a busy airport, we're actually doing a little bit further away. Heading to the gate. You know when you're walking through all of those huge windows and you get really excited because there's like a plane right next to you and you can see the planes taking off? That's what we're painting. And also that's the best place to get the dramatic lighting that we need because those windows are huge. So that's what we're painting. Unfortunately, I did forget to add anyone else, so it's just me. Yeah, it's not a very cluttered lo-fi scene. And now I'm attempting to add a sky to something that's already yellow. The biggest problem with toning the entire page yellow is that you can't add blue because then it will turn green. So we're using a lot of purple because that way we kind of just get like a muted purple and it kind of works. But we've also got the buff titanium. I'm using this for each of the planes, which was a pretty perfect shade. And of course for the suitcase. I think the actual name was like Monica Sand, but it looks like a buff titanium. Plus the buff titanium has white mixed into it, so it's not going to be super transparent. The white isn't going to completely shine through, so we get a little bit of the original page back. I also think in an ideal world I would have loved to have put myself right in the middle of the page, but this piece of art is going to be sliced in half. So for once I actually thought ahead, thinking back now to that watercolor piece that I did where we cut the face in a really awkward position and the tip of the nose is on the other page. I don't know if you remember that. It was the blue portrait I did quite a few episodes ago. Yeah, we just so happened to be slicing the face right on the nose. Trying to avoid that, I popped myself on the right side. And originally this was just going to be a character, but I don't have much of an imagination, so it's just me. But you know what? I think that actually works better for the prompt. Create hope, because my hope is I want to go on holiday. I am a summer gal. I am happiest in the heat. I'm happiest happiest on the beach. I'm quite simple really. Just give me a little bit of warmth and it's all good. But unfortunately I live in the UK and that really does not happen. So I get quite sad in the winter, especially because where I live, it's very rainy, it's very cold. So there's even less sun than other places in the UK. It's literally been like 8 months since I've been out in the sun. But I know that isn't for everyone. A lot of people don't like the warm weather. Like everyone's completely different. I don't know, what side are you on? Are you on the sunny weather, the heat, the warmth, the beach days? Or are you more of a winter person? Cold, cozy, hot chocolates, wrapped up walks. Honestly, I don't mind a little bit of that. I don't mind autumn. I do like when the leaves fall, and I take a ton of photos in autumn because it's all just so pretty. And then I very quickly get bored of it, especially because most of winter isn't snow. Like if it was snowing and you could get some really lovely photos and walk in the snow, I think that would be different. But I don't know about you. I feel like a lot of us don't actually get that. We experience winter and it's just cold, grey, rain. It's not quite how it's portrayed. And that's why I love summer. That's my favourite season. So the dream is for me to pack up my suitcase and go on holiday, go somewhere warm, which hopefully we will be able to do. If you're on the Discord server, you might know that I've filmed a ton of videos. I definitely won't be going anywhere anytime soon. I filmed a lot. We got quite behind. I was working on the shop and I ran out of videos. So I filmed a ton of videos. There's loads of Create This Book videos coming up. A couple of movie scenes, a couple of silly house projects. Also, I'm going to be painting the art studio, painting furniture, hopefully a mural, and also some art challenges, of course. We're going to be heading outside very soon because it's been a long while since we filmed anything outside. So I'm really excited about that. A lot of different stuff, but I hope that you'll join me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'm not going anywhere. And this piece here that we're painting is the main piece. I spent a while on this. Like, I wanted it to be good. I'm just layering and layering, and honestly it probably doesn't look like I'm doing very much, but I'm actually adding color pencils to try and add some more detail in. I love this paper. It's 100% cotton Cardi paper. It's the best, but it does like to kind of soften things, so I feel like sometimes when I add watercolor it can be quite difficult to get those lines down. It just wants to blend everything, so that's where the pencils come in. Unfortunately though, we are using quite textured paper, so the pencils are also not being straight. They're all bumpy, but we're trying our best. This piece was looking super weird until I added in the rest of the building. I completely forgot that it kind of needed a frame. I think it's hard to tell that it's glass because if I add a layer of blue on top, it's gonna turn green, and that's even weirder. So the best thing that we can do is layer. Layering is key. Layering really is the best way to make a watercolor piece go from simple and quick to good. Like, layering is the difference. And I think we can kind of see that here. I actually ended up only using the one brush for this whole piece. I guess that proves that you don't need many. And before we tragically slice it in half, we obviously need to take a scan. It is looking pretty cute. Obviously, I don't know if it's actually going to be turned into a print or sticker for the shop, but I like to have the option. Once we slice it in half and stick it in a book, it's not going to scan well. That's not an option. So just trying to get into this habit. Anytime really, anytime before I stick something into a book, I try and scan it because that's the best chance that you're going to get. Otherwise it goes bumpy, it's all weird. And we're just going to glue this in now. Press it all down, hope it all fits okay. The Create This Book is a little bit of an odd size. It's a little bit higher than A4, so there is a tiny gap. Don't know what that's about. It's also quite narrow, so unfortunately I have to cut all of these edges off. But you know what? I don't like to waste them, so of course I'm cutting them up and sticking them in the daily doodle diary. I painted these. They're weird, but of course we're gonna keep them. And oh, I almost forgot. We need to add the prompt. I completely covered it up. We need to write it in. And now that we've created something I'm super happy with, we need to move on to the second prompt. we are only using these color pencils. The prompt is create a word. Invent a new word by combining words that already exist. Write the definition here. Obviously, we're going to draw the definition and we're going to need a transfer sheet because the idea actually comes from last year's daily doodle diary where I created this. It's a simple color pencil landscape. I like it. We're going to go with it. And if you want to see the full sketchbook tour for that, it's in the playlist. I'll leave it below along with the whole challenge. And this is the reference. I took this photo on holiday in Kos, the Greek island, and I'm reaching for a load of light cream grey colour pencils because we're going to be drawing this scene. So it's not the most fun colour palette and I don't know if it's going to work. I love the photo. I took it in a castle looking out the window and I always remember that holiday in that moment because I think it's the happiest I'd been for a long while, and I think I do romanticize traveling and summer holidays just because that is where I find true happiness. It's so consistent. Like if I'm walking around in a brand new town in a different country, having good food, wearing summer clothes, walking on the beach, that always brings me joy. And they are the moments that I always look back on. This photo has a lot of texture in the walls of the building, so I think that's what we're going to keep simple. We're going to go minimalist, not colour that section in because I want the view inside the window to be coloured in, to have detail, just like the idea you can see in the top corner there. Really, I'm just experimenting with loads of different styles, but that's not the only thing that's going to be on this page. We need to create a word, and with that I'm reaching for this here purple because we need to make a wizard. Yeah, but you heard me right, we're making a wizard. It'll all make sense eventually, you'll find out. But for now, we need to do a wizard's hat. The hat was fine. The problem I had was the face. I really struggled with this face, as you can see, because I don't have a reference for this angle on a wizard. I don't know what they look like. The hat is way bigger than the head. The hat is huge. I guess maybe if you were like on top of a wizard with a wide-angled camera, maybe it would look like this. But the head is tiny compared to the hat. Still, we're going for stereotypes here. Probably kind of similar to Mickey's hat. Now I'm thinking about it. I thought purple and yellow, and I think that might be similar, right? Mickey Mouse? Magic Kingdom? It's like a really big hat, isn't there? Maybe this is just unlocking a memory. I have memories of a really big Mickey Mouse hat, and I think it kind of looks like this. I don't know, that's odd. Anyway, so it's purple and yellow, which does work perfectly because they are complementary colours. The colour pencils are struggling on this paper, I'm not gonna lie. I have a much better appreciation of paper now. When I first got back into art, I thought it was all about the art supplies. Like, maybe I'm not improving because I don't have amazing watercolors and I don't have great color pencils, but no, it's the paper. Using this kind of paper, which is literally just like Amazon paper, kind of makes me realize that. But there are perks to using worse paper. I mean, if you know there's not really much you can do with it, you do tend to work faster, and that's good because sometimes if you're using really fancy art supplies, you can kind of get stuck and just keep building a little bit like I did in the first one. Keep layering, keep trying to make it better, and this way you kind of know when to stop. And we're done. Time for the reveal. The very first prompt is to create hope. So we've got a cool lo-fi scene of me walking through an airport to go on holiday in watercolor with some color pencils. And then for the second prompt, we needed to create a word, and that word is winter awayus. That's right, it's a wizard casting a spell that can take you on holiday. And this is a silly one, but we've got to have fun in this book. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like if you have, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.